Yeah, that's started.
They're part of the TV makeup.
Yes.
No, Gail's here.
Where's Gail?
That's the beer. He's got to be back here tomorrow to lead us in the fun band, our first sing out.
Mark,
He said she'd be back here today.
Mark, is he busy? Mark.
I am Mark.
That's my good. That time to they let me in the room here. What some good things are for the church. There's things going fast for the church. For the party, that's what the party was. And that thing is for what?
Not easy.
Hey, Bill, put your shoes back on. You
Bill,
can't take your shoes off in here.
Bill got a recliner over there? You got a recliner?
You ratted me out, Bill?
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Okay.
I call to order the regular board meeting, December 2nd, 2019, 9:30 in the small hall. And we have invocation and pledge allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning. We pray that you will bless this meeting as we are come together again to try and have some business sense as to what to do for the people of TE. We pray, we thank you for your presence here and that you will guide us in that. And we ask that in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please?
Sure, Mary Chandler. Here. Lori Dalton. Here. Shirley Dillon.
Here.
Jim McElveen.
Here.
Gail Opper. Pete Price.
Here.
Sandy Simonich.
Here.
Mike Sansoni.
Here.
Dwayne Trotter.
I'd like to remind you to turn off your cell phones, please. We're open for residents' comments and questions. You have 3 minutes. Residents and comments or questions? Residents' comments or questions? Seeing none, I close that. We have the approval of the board minutes of November 18th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mary? Do I have a second?
Second.
Sandy?
I'm sorry. I'm behind you.
Mary?
Mary. Okay, thank you.
Any corrections? Additions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the board trustees workshop minutes of November 18th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Shirley, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mary? Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report from the treasurer.
Give me just a second, please. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, as of today, the balance in the checking account is $66,570.08. The money market balance is $728,066.48.
Need a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion.
Second? I'll second. Jim? Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any bills?
No bills today.
Staff or trustees, comments? Let's start with the informational ones. Shirley?
Okay, just wanted to say that most of the places around the park is looking pretty good. Of course, a lot of people are back But let's try to keep it that way. There are a few that are some problems out there, but we're working on those. That's all.
Thank you, Shirley. Sandy?
I have nothing from there, but shall I do the liaison for the
Sure.
beautification committee?
That's on.
You know what, I told her she could go ahead and do that because she is the liaison.
Okay.
There's nobody here for that, unless you're gonna give a report. She can still give a liaison report, you can give a report on the committee.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we had a meeting on October the 23rd, and there was a Veterans Day ceremony that happened on November the 11th. That was presented by the helping with the beautification committee helping. Sandy Stevens was the co-person with that happening. Gordon Elton was a representative of Bayshore Post 317 and requested the use of military flags, which we allowed them to have. The agreement starts for 1 year, starting in November of 2019. The bingo kitchen opened on the 10th of October. $5,040 has been earned over the 4 years from food sales. Kathy Handy has continued to coordinate the soup crew. And because of the soup crew, everything is donated and there's no cost to the kitchen, it's all profit. And let's see, the Rose Garden bill for 5 rose bushes for $66 and they were planted. Jim Harvey donated an illuminated metal rose sculpture for display in the Rose Garden, which Mark hooked up. And to make TE green again, we have postponed that, canceled the Clean Park Day. Motown concert, if you will go to page 13 of your Tribune, you will see all of the things that we have planned coming up, starting in January with, for the beautification committee has sponsored. And I think that is all. Let's check this other one we've done. Beautification right now is going to update the garland and the different decorations for Christmas in the large hall. We're in the process of trying to find something for that. And they did, the handicap use at the beach pavilion has been researched, and they did make one table there that the wheelchair person was able to use. And some more things are going to be done to make a better access to the beach pavilion for the handicap. I think that's all.
Sandy, can you give me the name of the person who donated the illuminated rose again?
Harvey. let's
Harvey,
see.
I'm sorry.
Jim Harvey.
Jane Harvey? No, Jim. Jim. Thank you.
Keith?
The potluck for December has been canceled. There's a notice in the Tribune that we will be having, but we have canceled it. There's so many other festivities going on that people are too busy. So, but the coffee break for the third Saturday, which is the 21st, we will still be having that, and that will be the time for the fun band. So.
The auditors were in. They spent 2 days in the office going through everything. We were able to provide everything that they needed, so they've taken it back, and I'm hoping to get a preliminary report soon from them. Don't expect anything. It was very smooth, a couple of days in the office. That's it for me, and then I've got something on Gail's behalf. Okay. Gail wanted me to let everybody know that Patsy Magella will be the band entertaining at this Saturday's dance. And reminding everybody that tickets are required for the TE Christmas party on Saturday the 14th. Happy Days is the band. And the tickets are available in the office beginning today. And you do need a ticket to get in, and the tickets are free. Also, right now in the large hall, tickets are on sale for the New Year's Eve party. It'll be from 8 to 12:30. The cost is $7 for residents, $13 for guests. 3 of a kind will take us into the new year. The tickets will only be available here today. If you don't get your tickets today, you can contact Betty Trinkle. Don't just stop into our house. Please call and make arrangements to pick up the tickets. Betty's phone number is 941-755-3353. And she just wanted to remind everybody that there'll be no dance on Saturday the 21st and no dance on Saturday the 28th.
Said Christmas party is for free, I have no problem with that one, but, and looking at the tribute, the tickets will be sold in Small Hall from 10 a.m. to noon, the 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Is that for the Christmas dinner?
Is that for dinner?
That's the dinner. That was doing when it gets to clubs. I was going to give that update.
Oh, okay. I had the wrong one. That's right.
That's all I have for myself and Gail.
Jim?
Well, we're finishing off the restroom refurbishing. Finish up the docks in Marina. Build and install a pool sign and put in a new desk up there. Plant roses, decoration for the Christmas. So that's what's going on right now, plus they're taking care of the mowing the lawns and things. One thing I want to bring up here, if you bring food around to some doings in the hall or up at the pool, anywhere that you bring any food, don't leave any of it laying around, because it attracts, they said don't say rats, but it's rodents, how about that? But that's what it's doing, and if you keep leaving this food laying around, that's what's going to happen more often. Now the pool, I don't know if anybody told you or not, Mike, but we've gone back to using the signage too, because that camera that's there, when it gets full, it cleans itself and starts over again. I've had a situation where I wanted to see what was on video, and it had been cleaned off. It automatically cleans itself. The people don't do it.
Okay.
So when you go up to the pool, please sign in. If something happens up there, we know who it is and when you were there and where you came from. If I take a person up there and use my fob, it doesn't tell you about who I brought and where he came from. So please use the sign-in up there, and we're going to put it on 732 about it. That's about all I got.
Lori?
Nothing real exciting, no.
I would just like to thank Pete for sharing last meeting in my absence. I appreciate it. I hear you did a nice job. The job's yours if you want it. Okay. Reports from standing committee, beautification committee.
Good Good morning, Sandy Stevens, 1814 Minnesota Avenue, representing the Beautification Committee. Our next meeting will be on December 18th, not the fourth Wednesday, but the third Wednesday of the month because of the holidays, in the small hall at 1 p.m. As Sandy said, the January 2nd, 2020, the cleanup day that we have advertised will be canceled until we find somebody. Will be canceled. What date? Oh, Tell me over. January 2nd, Thank you, sorry. because we can't find anything to clean.
Close up.
We can't. Mark said, we went to Mark and Mark said, well, so we postponed it. If something arises, we will reorganize and do a cleanup day. At our last meeting, we found out our bricks. We charge $100 a month. We used to keep $80 a month, beautification. And the vault where they do them were $20 a month. It came to our awareness at the last meeting that the vault has come up to up to $50 a month. So we are retaining $50 for the beautification committee. And since before, it used to be, that's how we did things, with just the bricks. We had no other income. So we were unaware of the change. It just happened. Just happened. And we don't know how long it's happened. But thanks to the fundraisers, we've been keeping a nice balance. So right now we have $8,991 starting off the season, which is a good balance for some of the stuff that needs to be done. We're gonna try to get some updated decorations for this year, but since they're decorating tomorrow, we're iffy on that.
Thursday.
Tomorrow?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, well, maybe we could. So we're working on that. If not, we will revamp all the decorations for the hall, large hall, for next year. We put that right in our budget. And again, I'm very happy that we are doing fundraisers now because of that cut in the bricks. And I'm surprised that we just didn't notice it, the cut in the money, because of the fundraisers. We've always had a good balance. And I said the next meeting. And that's it. Thank you.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
You said $50 a month for the bricks, is that now?
No, a year. No,
Brick.
a brick.
One time.
For a brick, okay.
For a brick, I'm sorry.
Trying to figure out how you get to spend that kind of.
I'm sorry.
That's why I need a clarification.
Yeah, no, it's a brick, per brick.
For the brick, huh?
Thank you.
Making fun.
Any old business? Seeing none, any new business? I've seen new business before us. Reports from clubs and organizations.
Gordon Hilton, 1804, Ohio. Just a reminder again that the computer club will be meeting this coming Friday at 10 a.m. in the Pelican Room in the Activities Building. Business meeting, member meeting at 10, and training to follow at 11. And the subject is planned to be issues related to or discussion about use of Spectrum accounts. Thank you.
Any other clubs or organizations?
I have an update on the Christmas dinner from Dale. It says our annual Christmas dinner, December 25th, doors open at 4:30. Dinner will be served at 5. Tickets will be sold on December 9th, 10th, and 11th. On Monday the 9th, they'll be available from 10 a.m. till noon in the small hall. 2 tickets only will be sold per address to owners and renter residents with ID. All remaining tickets will be sold December 10th and 11th on a first-come, first-served basis, and tickets are $9 each. The menu is ham, turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, vegetable, stuffing, cranberry sauce, rolls and butter, and dessert. Carryouts will be available from 4:15 to 4:45 only in the small hall. Santa will leave gifts, I hope your ticket is among those for whom he left those gifts. And the committee would like to thank the following for gifts in support of the dinner: Betty Sarhart, John and Janet Vandermolen, the Square Club, the Wisconsin-Minnesota Dinner, Art Expressions, Bocce, the Blood Pressure Ladies, Mary Jane Mumford and Janet Vandermolen.
Any others? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Mary makes a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jim seconds it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we got 10 minutes to 10.
9:50.
Moving on to the workshop of November 18th, called to order at 10 minutes to 10 at 9:50. Are there any additional items to be added to the workshop?
I want to add discussion about the southeastern guide dog.
Any others?
Yep, I want to add ticket sales at the post office and a laundromat.
Do you want to get that Bill's person? Is, they're separate items.
Yeah,
Laundromat.
laundromat's a separate item, ticket sales at the post office is a separate item.
Gotcha.
Any other items?
I'd like to add continuous rec as a general statement.
That doesn't need to be,
Okay, cool.
Mark's going to absorb that in his budget, I was told, so I don't
Okay,
think
cool.
there's any board decision.
Cool.
That's what I mean.
Work for me.
Any other discussion, any other points? Jim, disposal of power pruner?
That was Jim and I together,
Okay.
and I made the mistake of attaching the old board agenda item with the new one, and so it got picked up as a workshop. It really wasn't. Both of those items need to be moved forward to the next board meeting.
You make sure it'll happen?
Yep, I'll take care of that.
First two items, right?
That was the first two. And that was my bad. Sorry, Jim.
You have something regarding disposal of property?
Yes, I'm,
15?
yeah, I'm recommending that we make some changes, some very simple change to PP 15, just to allow the maintenance manager and maintenance trustee to dispose of assets with no value without board approval. This is just kind of worry about what we take care of being true value, and the asset has zero value, and both the maintenance manager and the trustee in charge of maintenance agree that it has no value. There's no need for us to see it. So the recommended language is circled there. After examination by a trustee and the maintenance manager, there's a mutual agreement that the asset holds no value whatsoever and should be discarded as junk. The asset number will be provided to the treasurer to update asset inventory for the district, and that item will be discarded. There'll be no need for board consideration of that. Any discussion
My
about
only
that?
concern is there any Florida statute we might be violating? That is my only concern that may require us to do it. I'm just asking,
Mhm.
I don't know.
I believe that this is our policy that we
It's our
have
policy,
complete
okay.
control over.
Okay. I'm not arguing, I'm just trying to make sure we don't.
Nope,
Okay.
no, I'm trying to just make what we take care of the most efficient use of our time.
Any other discussion? Okay, bring
I'll bring it
this
forward.
forward next meeting.
I will do that.
All right, I'll do the paperwork for you. I'll get that all taken care of, and I'll give it to you to do the PB 38.
Thank you.
All right.
Sandy, discussion of TNI Southeast Eye Dogs.
Yes, there's been a group of us that have wanted to have a statue made of the southeastern guide dogs that they have a catalog for, and you can purchase one. The question has come up, do we want a statue of a dog here in this park? Since we are not pet friendly. So I said I would come to the board and ask about that. And also, we do not have a place where we have been allowed to put it. And we need to discuss that. So I need the input of the board as to what you think about this before we go any further. Because we were going to have a style show on February the 8th, style show and tea party to make funds for this.
Any discussion? Sandy?
I really appreciate the fact that, you know, you said not have a dog statue in a no pets park. I understand supporting and donating the money to get puppies and train them and that sort of stuff. I'm not yippee skipping about a dog statue.
No, I don't either. I think that would let everyone know that anyone can have them.
The problem I see with it is it's a nice idea, but if the purpose of having a fundraiser is to provide the money necessary to train a dog, to provide the assistance to feed the dog and stuff like that, spending the money in this manner kind of is counterproductive. I mean, if the primary objective is to help those without vision have a dog. Spending $5,000 for a statue that doesn't do anybody any good is actually kind of an insult to the people who don't have sight. And that's my thinking behind it. So I wouldn't be for it, but it's me. Any other discussion?
Do the proceeds for the purchase of the dog, do they go to Southeast Guide Dog towards purchasing another dog or training it?
I'm not sure. I think they're talking about doing a fundraiser, that you just said, and the proceeds from that fundraiser will purchase the dog that will be placed somewhere in the park that demonstrates that this park supports the Southeast Guide Dogs as something the park sponsors.
Yeah, what I was wondering though, if the proceeds raised from the fundraiser, do they go to Southeast Guide Dog? Purchase a dog from the Southeast Guide Dog, is that where we purchase it? And those proceeds go to them to train and bring forth another dog?
It's probably like our beautification committee and the bricks, where we would buy a brick for $100, and right now the way it's looking is $50 goes towards the actual physical cost of the brick, and $50 goes to beautification committee. So when we say you're supporting the beautification committee when you buy a brick for $100, you are, but not all $100 is going towards to the beautification committee. Part of that is going to pay for the physical, and I'm assuming, there's that rotten word, that would work the same way with the statues from the guide dogs.
So if we purchase a statue from Southeast Guide Dogs for $5,000, probably that statue is not going to cost $5,000. So part of it will be the physical statue that we'll have to place someplace in the park, and the rest of it will go towards
Exactly.
the purchase. And so we don't
I
know
can't
the
tell you that
answer
for
to
sure, I would have to follow up with that.
I think, I agree with Mike. We have our auction here. The proceeds from the auction go to sponsoring a dog or two, or depending on how much money we raise, that will be trained and give support to somebody in need. If we're going to do a fundraiser, I'd rather see, like the show you were talking about, I'd rather see the proceeds from that go towards maybe another dog. Maybe we can get 3 instead of 2 because of the auction and that together, versus a statue that we're going to stick someplace in the park. That would be mine. I agree with that.
Do we need to take a vote?
I'm sorry.
Do we need to take a vote?
Well, not at this point. I mean, you got our consensus basically of, you know, you need to do some further research. And if my one final closing thing, if you want to have a fundraiser, let's have a fundraiser for the East Fire Department. They need the money a hell of a lot worse than the Southeast Guide Dogs need another expenditure of funds from, received from us rather than the fire department. I mean, that has more of an impact on the residents than another fundraiser for them. I would go back and get some things answered, how much it's going to cost, how much do they keep, how much goes to Vietnam. And I still think the bigger problem is, you hit the nail on the head to begin with, was this is we comply with federal law as it relates to the dogs in the park. And that's as far as we go. Otherwise, there is no dogs in this park. And it kind of be counterproductive, but a statute out saying, hey, here's, I understand the difference, but people aren't going to understand the difference.
So do you want me to follow up with this and bring back that information as to where the funds are going?
Right, yeah, please do that, at least we've covered all the bases, then we just didn't out of hand rejected.
For the next board meeting?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Jim, what do you want to add? I'm sorry.
Pool security.
Oh, under the workshop, gotcha.
Just information.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
Got it. Okay, tickets at the post office, Mary?
Yep, we have several organizations in the park that set up card tables at the post office and use it as a venue to sell tickets to our events. I don't know the answer to this question. I'm hoping that the Brain Trust here does. If we have a resident in the park that volunteers for an organization outside of the park, and they're having a fundraising raffle to get funds for that organization, not a TV organization, can they set up a table at the post office and sell raffle tickets? This is a gentleman who's a resident of the park who volunteers at a Catholic school in the area, right here in Bradenton, and the fundraising committee for this Catholic school wants to raffle off a golf cart, and he wants to know if he can set up a table at the post office and sell raffle tickets as the fundraiser for the local Catholic school that he volunteers with. So where this is a resident who wants to sell the tickets, but for a fundraiser for a non-park,
Non-recognized organization.
not recognized organization, yeah, the proceeds don't go to anybody in the park, it's for the Catholic school in the area. Can he do that?
I don't know of any policy, one way or the other, except if you look at it from the standpoint of the park itself, we basically require organizations and clubs to be registered with us for purposes of benefiting people in the park, residents of the park. Since this would not be such an organization, I don't see how they can sell. That's my own personal
Yeah, I couldn't
take on
find
it.
anything that specifically said they couldn't. That's why I was wondering if probably what, I said I would bring it before the board and the board would give permission, yea or nay, to allow that to happen. And
Will that open it up for then everybody else wanting to?
that if they do volunteer work in the community, I mean, it's just a matter of, do we want to limit it to functions in the park, or do we want to say anybody in the park that does volunteering in the community, we want to recognize that we appreciate that volunteering, and
Well, he already has, he had last month a sign up on the bulletin board for this particular fundraiser.
okay, I wasn't aware of
Then
that.
that was taken down at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's not up there any longer.
Okay,
It was up
I
there
took
last.
I took everything down, but I don't recall removing that one.
Well, I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
Yeah. It was up there last month. I
Okay.
don't know how,
Some other kind soul may have removed it.
I don't have an answer one way or the other. My gut tells me we shouldn't do it
Okay,
because they're opening up a Pandora's box by doing it. That's my basic instinct tells me. That would be my position. I agree with you. I think we're getting a lot ahead of saying the same thing.
okay, okay, I will let him know.
I think we
Thank
just,
you.
Now you get the tickets sales at the one.
just do it with the work.
The laundromat is another
Hang
whole
on,
thing.
hang
I brought this up before as I looked over
No, yeah.
the expenses of the park and opportunities to control expenses and therefore control our assessments that we place on our residents. The post office is not a park and rec function. It's not something that we are certain, I mean, the post office, the laundromat, that we are required to provide for our residents. And it's a amenity that we lose money on every single month. The cost of the water and the gas to maintain it is not enough to cover, that bill exceeds what we get in for income from the coin operated machines to the tune of about $2,000 a year we lose every year. It's not a large amount of money, but it is a loss every single year. I was able to do some reporting on the number of residents that use the laundromat. It only covers the period of June, July, August, September, and October. But what I like about that time period is it tells me how many residents here, year-round residents, utilize the laundromat. It won't tell me renters or seasonal people. But it gives me the number of people that will be impacted 12 months out of the year if we were ever to consider using that space for some other income-generating amenity to the park. And from what I can tell by the, and this is the other problem, I can only tell what Bob's accessed it. I'm making an assumption that they're accessing it to do laundry. They could be accessing it for the water, to fill their water tanks, and not doing any laundry at all. And there's no way for me to know that. I can just tell. From what I can tell over that period of time, consistent use of the laundromat by 23 people.
Is that per month?
That's 23 people on average if they come every other week to do their laundry.
A month though, not
Per month.
gap between June and October.
Right. 23 people on average used it 2 times or more per month. So again, and I don't know if they're doing laundry or filling their water bottles. So with 1,248 taxpayers in the district, 23 people are using it on a regular basis. I'm making the assumption that those are using it for laundry and that those are our full-time residents and not our seasonal residents. So what I want to know from the board is I can continue to monitor usage as we move towards the season, and we can discuss this again next year once I have more volume to see how many people utilize it. Or do we want to consider other options for the use of that space that can bring income into the park to help control our assessments and
Mary, how much that we get back from them for the use of them having laundry here?
what's our income generated from it?
Yeah.
I
Or like the amount, like now it's, I thought was kind of high, $1.75 for washer or dryer.
You mean the cost to do a load? I don't know what the cost is to do a load. That's set by the people who own
Yeah.
the, we get 50% of what it takes in. So,
We do get 50%.
yeah, whatever's collected out of those machines from residents using them, 50% of it comes back to us. They don't pay any rent for the use of the building. So they're just giving us 50% of the coin spending in those machines. And the cost, like I said, for the utilities, we're losing about $2,000 a year on that. So I just want to know from the board, do we want to move, do you want me to do more work on options that are available to us as far as income generation from that property? Or do we want to say, I know we're losing $2,000, but it's an amenity we don't want to get rid of, so move on and try to find money someplace else? That's not an option.
What are you thinking about as a money-making?
Well, I will have to see what our zoning will allow. Because we have to consider zoning.
Right, Tony?
So if that's something that you're interested in pursuing, I will do some work with Mark about what, not Mark Barnaby, about what our zoning will allow, what our charter will allow, what we can do with that space. And then we can go from there to see if we can make it an income generating piece of property versus an expenditure.
Do we pay the total cost out of the 50% that we get? Water, electricity?
That's why we lose $2,000 a
Is
year.
there any way of, when the lease is up or whatever, negotiating with them that they pay the cost? Or they share in the cost?
We could do that. Unfortunately, the lease is not up for renewal for quite a while, so we'll have to just decide we're not going to offer the amenity at all. And I have to check with Mark to see if we decide we're not going to offer it at all, if we can break the lease as well. Let's see. Wash Coast lease is up in May of 2021.
I think you got some work to do.
I do, but I don't want to spend a lot of time and Mark Barnaby's time if the board says, you know, this is an amenity that we've always had, this is not one we're interested in getting rid of. I know we're losing $2,000 a year, but if that's not an exorbitant amount of money, let's leave it alone.
I think the first thing you gotta look at is, can we break the lease?
Yep.
If you can't break the lease,
Okay.
we're wasting our time.
All right,
I think that's the first question we really need to
Yeah.
address, is the lease issue.
all right,
I'd like to say something.
When-
sure.
We got a water machine up there that's used a lot. We don't get a dime out of
Yep.
it. And it takes 5 gallons of water to make 1 gallon clear, according to what I've been told by some of the people who know about that. Now, we also use a lot of the water to water the garden around there, the rose garden and stuff. We also use the water to clean up around the buildings. And it's been an amenity that's been there for a long time. Now, the other thing is, when this started before, I talked with a company that owns the machine. They were supposed to, when they came and dumped out the boxes of the money, they were supposed to have one of our people around there when it was counted. They did that for a little while, and then they quit. We don't know how much they're dumping out of there. The other day, I was in the laundromat up there. Every one of them dryers was running. There was 2 washers that wasn't running. Now, that's just one day when I was in there. And there's a lot of people that come down here that use that. I don't know if you've been over, any of you been over to the laundromat here in the plaza? You go over there sometime, you wouldn't want to be there. And for obvious reasons. But my own personal opinion is we lose money on the swimming pool. We lose money on a lot of things around here. I don't know if $2,000 is going to bust us. In fact, when I leave here today, I'm going down to pay $2,000 for taxes. So,
That's exactly what, I mean, I think it's my job as a treasurer to look at where the money's going
I realize.
and make sure that we're aware of where it's going and where there might be opportunities to keep our assessments in control. The pool is a part of our park and rec amenity. A laundromat is not. So that's the only reason why I'm looking at that one and what opportunities that building space might bring. I get you completely, Jim, and that's why I wanted to bring it up and say, is there anything here we want to pursue or not?
It was brought up a couple times before. I believe you was on the board at that time.
Yeah, I brought it up before.
No, they were going to use it for a Bible study, they're going to use it for a religious book place. And I can't see that either. But I think it's an amenity that's been here for a long time, and there is people that use it.
I found quite a few people who used it once or twice during that period of time. And again, Lori's favorite word, I'm assuming, that is an occasion where you've come down for the season and you want to do all your bedding because it's been sitting there for 6 months. So you're going to get down and do your bedding there because you're doing a lot of it. Because you're only using it once during that 4-month period. So I mean, if you're only going to use it once, there are other places you can bring it. We don't have to provide a laundromat for that. I'm looking for the people who depend on it. They depend on it every week or every other week to do their laundry because they don't have a washer dryer in their unit. And it looks like that was about 23 individuals. And again, I'm assuming they're not getting water. They're doing laundry during that period of time that I reviewed.
Right, but that's not a complete picture assumption, because if I'm a snowbird who does not have a washer or dryer in my home, and you're taking that, I still own the property, I'm still paying my assessment, and I'm still anticipating having a laundry here that's not a security issue like the one up there Jim alluded to, and that sort of stuff. So I would want to see the numbers of usage through the season, because to only consider putting out 23 people when maybe there's a lot greater number in season that we would be affecting, I don't think we've got all our data to make a good decision.
I agree 100%. That's why I wanted to kind of bring it here. I mean, even if we said it's 3 times that amount and we have 100 people that use it, that's 100 out of 1,200 residents. So we're keeping an amenity, we're losing money on an amenity that 10% of the people are utilizing and 90% of the people are paying for.
How many slips do we have at the marina? How many slips do we have?
I don't honestly know.
Versus upkeep in the parking lot, the sidewalk, the docks?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm not, they pay rent, and I get that, but there's like a wash, and it's a pretty close, even wash there, but we do it, and really and truly, we're only servicing, and they're not all residents. I'm ballparking, I think there's, what, 120 slips? So when you start getting into the 100 numbers, and you're saying comparing to the entire park, I agree, 100 is kind of a small number, but how many boats are we, doing to, how many shuffleboard players, how many pool users, how many, and so then the 100 becomes, in my mind, a lot more significant, even though it's still a small percentage.
Okay.
I have 4 things. One, we are not getting an accurate account of the number of people who use it. And then why don't we monitor it a little longer to try to get a more accurate account? We could do that maybe by putting a word out about the possibility of being closed and put like a sign-in sheet at the door or something for whoever uses it, maybe to sign in, to try to get a more accurate account for who uses it.
Yeah, and Jim brought it up, I never thought about it. There's still water. Do we have a contract with that?
I'm sure we do. I haven't been involved in that, though. That's not one of the contracts that I've never seen one. I'm not aware of it.
Who has,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a contract for that.
All right.
Now, here again, we don't know how much going through there. The other day, when I was up there, guy come in, he had 6 big jugs that he filled up. Each one of them jugs was probably a gallon, maybe more. And it took 5 gallons to make 1 gallon of water for that. judge. And we don't have a monitor on that water that goes to that purifier. I think maybe we ought to check and see if we could get our own purifier put in there. I never seen anybody come in for maintenance. I never seen anybody come in and dump it out either. We have no idea how much is going through there.
Okay. I'm gonna look into that because I'm not.
That's just like up at the swimming pool. I know of several people that come in there every day to take a shower, don't even go in the pool. Not supposed to do that.
Randy?
I know a couple of those,
I gotta go back to the distilled water, I'm sorry. If we're not doing anything with it, who's changing the filter?
I'm gonna look into everything that's involved with that water thing. Because that's definitely something I think we need to look into for that
Yeah.
as well. All right, thank you.
Pete, you got continuous rec?
Oh, yeah. Just when the meeting, when Gail talked about maybe health and welfare taking over the dance instructors and so forth, I was out of the meeting at that time with the attorney, and I didn't get all the information on exactly how that was to work. And as I look, it seems that health and welfare will now handle the dance instructors, scheduling and so forth. And my question was, and I was approached that about the possibility of a line dance instructor carrying on from April to December. Would that fall on continued rec? Will that still be with health and welfare?
Based on what we passed, it'd be all involved there.
That was my thoughts.
It was part of this, the whole schematics. I don't think we really addressed that, did we? That I'm aware of, I don't think we addressed it per se, but
Well, if health and welfare is doing line dance instructors, it didn't say only in season, it says line dance instructors, so I would assume that it would be health and welfare. That would be my assumption. See, did I just think today?
Yeah.
why don't we do this? Sandy, why don't you look at the new job description on that? Maybe we should discuss it some more, just to make sure we're all on the same page on that one for the next meeting. Okay? Jim, pool security?
I've been questioned about the pool security. There's 3 people that have been doing the pool security, no, there's 4 people that's been doing the pool security. They want to know what training they had. I take and I interview people for the pool security job. Not a lot of people sign up for it, and I understand why. If you go up and observe for a while up there, you'll find out why. But I've turned down some people that wanted to do it because I didn't figure that they had the patience and the understanding to do it. Here, a while ago, a person turned in a complaint that he was abused up there, called some names I won't mention, and that it was a volunteer. Well, I checked with my 3 guys. The 4th person is a female, and I'm sure the fella could tell the difference between the female and the male. So I didn't interview her, but the other 3 I did. They weren't even around there. One of them wasn't even in the park. So if you're gonna say that it's a volunteer, I don't care if it's with a pool or who it's with, be sure it is. If you read the sign up there on the wall, if Pete's in there and he sees something that isn't right, Pete can tell him, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. Now, Pete's not a volunteer as far as I'm concerned at that point, but he's doing what the sign says he can do. But if you're going to accuse a volunteer of doing something, be sure it's a volunteer. And I cannot verify what training other volunteers have. All I know about is in the pool. And if you've been here for a while, like I have, and most of the people right here on this board have, you will realize that some of the people that are moving into this park are not some of the older people with the mentality and the patience that the older people did have. And it's becoming quite apparent. There's people coming in that don't have to obey the rules and regulations, they'll make their own. And it's just a hard thing to control anymore. But I can guarantee you that the people that are up at the pool are not causing problems if they are listed as a volunteer. Thank you.
My only side comment to that is unless a person gets the name of the person, we shouldn't even bother the person's complaint. If we don't get the person's name of who they talk to, we shouldn't even be addressing the complaint. And further, that again, if you're a renter in the park, your way to get relief for your issue is through your owner, through the owner. Renters in the park, by charter, don't have rights to complain about something in the park, because they're not owners. Our responsibility is to the residents who own property in the park. That's our responsibility. Renters, unfortunately, don't have a say in that, per se, because they're not owners pursuant to the charter. You may not like that for an answer, but that's the truth.
Oh, one other thing. If something happens to you at the pool or any place else in here, if you wait and turn in a report 4 days later or 2 days later, that camera automatically may have cleared itself off. I don't know.
Stop that. You're giving away the security of the operations of the park, and we have to be careful about that from the standpoint of making everybody aware that something is occurring that they shouldn't be aware of.
Well, I don't know. I've been involved with security for years.
Not arguing, I'm arguing about the aspect of certain parts of the operation of security in the park.
In an open meeting.
In an open meeting, yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Let's just say things can change. And if you report it 4 days after it happened, or 5 days, you can't remember what the people look like, and you have no idea exactly what day it was. It's a hard thing to track back. That's all I got to say.
Residents' comments? As to anything we discussed at the board meeting today, at this workshop?
Gordon Elton, 1804 Ohio. On the the discussion about disposal of property without having to come to the board first. I don't have a problem with that, but I think that you should include in the policy a requirement to have any such disposals reported to the board as an information item. That helps with the record showing that they were disposed of, and that it's a kind of a internal control type of procedure that if someone were to challenge, if it really had value, there'd be a record of what was disposed in the public record. Thank you.
Any other residents' comments? Any other residents' comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second by Shirley. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.